about application of digital electronics. And if we are applying digital electronics in various places, when we apply digital electronics in various places, application you see all around. So maybe you people should start looking into your surroundings in your house, where and all digital electronics is used. And your parents have paid money to use that. So that means what? It is worth taking somebody's money for that application. And if somebody is able to provide a cheaper, more efficient product, it will also help in the economical side of this digital electronics. If you are able to use your digital electronics principle in using, in making a smaller circuit more efficient circuit. What do you mean by efficient circuit? If I say efficient circuit means it will be able to work better with lesser power. Lesser power means my national power loss will be less if I make a device which uses less power, right? So I am trying to say that your subject connects to many things. It connects to a nice user based application. It also goes to that if I make a good efficient system, it will be more economical in terms of power consumption. And if you are able to save power, you are contributing to the national economic growth. So you should understand at your level. I told you yesterday also, you will be contributing to the core electronics engineering domain now. So if you know these things from beginning, you will be able to apply it in each and every small things related to any of your subject. Any of your subject means what? It is why you are doing this, why you are studying digital electronics. That answer you should know. It is not to pass VTU exam. It is to know many things. It is to know many things, and it is to see that how a good digital electronics engineer or digital system design engineer can contribute by making a good and efficient digital application which is economical. It helps in our socio-economic growth. So it is, you should see the bigger picture. It is not just a subject. Okay. So I want you people to know why you are looking into so many things related to this subject. Okay. Now I will be sharing my screen. Yes, are you able to see a document?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is your digital system design subject. The course code is 18EC34. You people have to have a separate notebook. Okay, so on that notebook, on the first page, write the subject name, write the subject code, digital system design 18EC34. This is your fourth subject. So the test will happen second day afternoon, right? Then you have 5 modules. It is a 40 hours course. Okay. Now, before I go into this, let me see at the end of this syllabus what you will know with respect to VTU. VTU understands that once you finish this subject, you will be able to explain the concept of combinational and sequential logic circuit. You will be able to design certain circuit using combinational logic. And you will be also able to design circuit using sequential logic. Now, what is the difference between combinational and sequential logic? Anyone can unmute and tell. What is difference between combinational and sequential? If nobody is telling, I will ask randomly anybody. Difference between combinational and sequential. This is what is told to you in your basic electronics also. So I am asking.
Ma'am, in combinational, the previous outputs are not dependent on the current input.
Okay, correct. Can anybody give me example of one combinational circuit and example of one sequential circuit? Okay, you people have your notebook with you, right?
Ma'am, for combinational, we have an example of an adder, and for sequential, clock or a counter maybe.
Yeah, correct. Correct, Neeraj. Perfectly correct. See, all of you in your notebook, you write combinational circuit, sequential circuit. Combinational circuit depends only on present inputs and there is no memory. Write this. I am dictating you, you write this. Combinational circuit does not have any memory and it does not depend upon previous input. And example of combinational circuit is half adder, full adder. Adders are example of combinational circuit. And as I told you, we will be asking questions and quiz from each class, right? So whatever I am dictating and telling you, these things may come in the quiz after 1 or 2 class. So please make a note of all these things properly, okay? So combinational circuit is the circuit which uses only present input. It does not use past input and it does not have any memory. Why it does not have any memory? Because it does not use past input, no? So memory is not required. An example is half adder, full adder, all these things, where presently whatever input you give, it just adds that and give you output. It does not bother what was the previous input. Now coming on to sequential circuit depends upon the present input as well as it depends upon the past input. For example, he told counters. Counters means what? It should know what was the past input. If the past condition was 3 and it is an up counter, now it should give 4. If past was 6, present will become 7. So sequential circuit are the circuits which uses your past input also. It uses past input and that means what? It requires memory. So sequential circuit are the circuit which uses your present input, past input and it requires a memory. Examples are counter. Basically your combinational circuit uses gates. You know, no? Gates. Which all gates are there? Anyone? Which are the 3 basic gates?
And or not.
Correct. Anyone? Any other person other than Kirtana now? Which are the 2 universal gates?
NAND and NOR.
Yeah, good. Anirudh, NAND and NOR are 2 universal gate. What are application gates? Anybody else? What are application gates we say or derived gates we say?
XNOR and XOR.
Correct. XOR and XNOR are correct, Nivedita and Neeraj. XNOR and XOR are application gate. So all of you know this 3 basic gates, 2 universal gate and 2 application gate. So these gates are part of your combinational circuit. So combinational circuit can have gates only. And what about sequential circuit? Sequential circuit will have gates and sequential circuit will also have flip-flops. You have seen only SR flip-flops, I guess, in basic electronics, right?
JK also.
JK also you had, very nice. Okay, so your task till next week, I will give 1 week time for you people to revise digital electronics of your basic electronics. Okay. I will be using your knowledge, but of course I will be taking care that if you have not understood, I will make you understand. But I will like to have an interactive student who give me answer in between. Okay. So sequential circuit means it will be using gates as well as flip-flop, because flip-flop are the only means of memory in our digital system. And next you should be able to apply digital applications of combinational and sequential circuit. So VTU says that you will understand combinational and sequential. You will be able to design combinational circuit. You will be able to design sequential circuit. And you will be also able to design something called as Mealy and Moore machine. And you will also be able to design the application of combinational and sequential circuit. So this is what VTU says. Now what BMSIT or ETE department says. ETE department says that after completing this course, you will be able to apply the knowledge of simplification technique to solve combinational logic. You already know your Boolean algebra. Boolean algebra means using Boolean algebra, you simplify a given equation. But when you come to third semester, the same simplification you will do, but you will not use Boolean algebra. You will use something called as Karnoff map, K-map. K-map did you do in basic electronics?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So Karnoff map method of simplification you will study in first module. Apart from Karnoff map, there is something called as Quinn-McCluskey method, QM method. That also you will study in digital system design subject. So this is our first CO, first course outcome. Next, you will be able to analyze and solve a circuit based upon digital logic. That is, you will be able to analyze circuits, and then you will be able to design simple application using digital circuit. It may be counter, it may be anything else. We will do real world application also. I will give you that and you will be able to do. You will interpret the case study, you know case study is there. So of course case study will be always application oriented. And as a activity, you will make a group. It is good if you make your group in a way that this group will be useful for your PBL also, final year project also. Try to make such a group. So in team, you will be showing me a simple application using multisim. And this multisim you will be doing and using it for your lab also. So this is my department course outcome, which you will be able to complete after completing this course. Okay. Now let me give you overview of the subject. Overview of the subject means what all will be there and portions for the test also. First module is principle of combinational logic. Of course, in this you will remember all your gates. Apart from that, you will know what do you mean by canonical form, and you will be generating the equation from truth table. This you know to some extent. More complicated things you will see now. Then you will see Karnoff map, which is 3, 4, 5 variables. Then you know what is don't care terms? Don't care terms? Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So don't care terms will also be taken care in K-map. Then we will see the simplification and then Quinn-McCluskey technique. That is QM method. This much we will finish in first module. Okay. Second module is about the application of combinational logic. You have seen only adders and subtractors. Now you will see decoder, encoder, multiplexer, demultiplexer, look ahead carry, comparators, and this is all combinational circuit, means this is all application of those gates into some circuit. After that, you will see programmable logic devices and complex PLD. Flip-flop. Now, module 1 and module 2 finishes your combinational circuit part. Module 3, your sequential starts. When sequential starts, you will have your flip-flops. Now, flip-flop, whatever you have learned, more will be seen here. More complications will come here. Till here, you may be somewhat related to your basic electronics flip-flops. But you will see master-slave flip-flop. Did you see master-slave flip-flop in your last class, last semester?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Syllabus has increased for basic electronics, I guess. Okay, it will be good if you revise that, okay? And then you have something called as characteristic equation. Characteristic equation is the characteristic of flip-flops are brought into equation, using which you design the application of sequential logic using sequential circuit. And what are those applications? Those applications are registers, binary ripple counter, and synchronous binary counter. Okay, so till here you know to some extent, but you will have certain other things also. Then you will have characteristic equation with which you will be designing sequential circuit. So in flip-flop and its application part, there are two module 3 and module 4. You saw that module 1 and module 2 is dedicated to combinational. Module 3 and module 4 is dedicated to sequential. So you design some more things like synchronous counter, asynchronous counter, mod and counter, and then you develop certain Mealy and Murray model also. Mealy and Murray model you develop, and you also have something called a state diagram or state machine you design. So such a state machine you design using your sequential circuit. Sequential circuit means flip-flops only. Now, after this, after you learn these two modules of sequential circuit, you are in position to design more complex circuit. So then we come to the application of digital circuit. This is little complicated module. If you understand very well the third and fourth module, you will be able to. Sir, please close the door. So you will be able to apply it for more complicated application. So this is code converter, iterative circuit of comparator. The comparator in module 2 is different, module 5 is different. Module 2 is comparator using your basic logic gates, but this comparator is more complicated one. Then we also design the sequential circuit using ROMs and PLAs. This part is little bit extra in with your seniors compared to your seniors. But of course, this is at a basic level only. You don't have to go into much detail. And then this is the last portion where we use the state machine to design accumulator, multiplier, and divider. Okay. Now, in short, I would like to say you have two modules of basic combinational circuit, two modules of sequential circuit, and last module is high-end application of your digital circuit. Now, coming to the books, I don't see if you can get e-books of this, it is good, but I can assure you that if you are attending your classes properly and if you are doing the homework of each day, you don't need any book actually. Okay, I have a question bank already prepared with me. This is, I think, fourth time that I am taking the subject. So everything, if you simply follow the classes given homework, you may not require to take these books at least for 1.5 months. Once you are back here, I will show you these books. If you are able to get these books as e-book and all, you can refer it. But actually speaking, for 2 modules at least, you don't need anything. Okay. So that is about your textbook. Okay. Now I told you about the importance of the subject with respect to your outcome or whatever you will be able to do. I gave you introduction to the syllabus. Okay, I should give introduction to myself also, no? Okay, because you are very new in the department. I should give introduction to myself also. Okay, so my name is Dr. Seema Singh. I belong to North. I came to Bangalore in 2004. And so it is now 16 years in Bangalore itself. Before I was working in Sir MBIT. Now from last 10 years, I am working in BMSIT. Before I was in electronics department. I came to your department in the year 2019, February, as HOD of your department. And my area of interest is artificial neural network, machine learning, embedded system, digital and analog electronics, control system, Okay, so I have done my PhD from JNTU Hyderabad in 2015. So now it is more than 5 years of PhD also. I have my PhD students who does good work with respect to all my research domain. At third semester level, I also suggest you to look into good work and start doing something apart from your these subjects. Okay, so why I told you that, so that you see your teacher specialization and start working. You are grown up enough to start working in any domain. Okay, you can start reading, spend your time reading. So when I say today digital electronics application, I want you people to go and search internet to find about what digital electronics application can be, such that you also understand it. You have some basics already. You know combinational circuit, you know sequential circuit. Try to get some application which you can discuss here. I will open the forum to you people. I will open the forum to you people sometime, so that whatever you have gained knowledge about digital system design or digital electronics, you can showcase your knowledge. Okay, so you people should be reading with the application of your subjects. Okay, so this is about the introduction of the syllabus, subject, course outcome, myself, books. Anything more you want to know? You can unmute yourself and ask question if you want to know anything more.
Ma'am, textbook names, ma'am.
I had given, no, what I will do, no, I will share this document. I will share this document. In this document, textbook names are also there. See here.
Okay, ma'am.
So textbooks are there. Yarbrough, Donald Gibbon, and Roth. Mainly are these two books. Okay. You have reference books also, these books. But as I told you, don't require book as of now for another 1.5 month minimum, because it is very much, you know, problem oriented subject. If you solve problem with me in the class, you people will be able to finish your modules easily. But these are the textbook. I will share this document in Google Classroom. Okay. Anything else? Any other question? I hope all of you are listening to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so no further question. I told everything so perfectly that you don't have any question. Okay, so now to start with our first topic. Of course, we will not start doing it right away. But the first thing, what I would like you people to know is, are you able to see a new document of module 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will start with module 1. Of course, in detail, I will go in next class. But today, at least I can tell you something which you need to revise and come to me in the next class. When we have next class? Tomorrow we don't have, no? Okay, our next class is coming only on Saturday. So you have 2 days time in between. Okay, so I would like you to such expressions you people have seen, no?
Yeah, ma'am.
Something is called as sum of products and other thing is called as product of sum.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I want you people to put in the chat window about the number of gates which is required to design this equation. A plus B bar C plus A bar BC. This is equation which I want to solve, or you can say this equation which I want you people to Implement using gates. How many NOT gate? How many AND gate? How many OR gate? Only for this equation, A plus B bar C plus A bar B C. You can use 2 input AND gate or 3 input AND gate also. Same way you can use 2 input OR gate or 3 input OR gate also. How many gates are required? Two NOT, 3 and 2 OR. One AND. Okay. So what we see, we need 2 NOT gate without any doubt. We need 2 NOT gate. We need 1 AND gate for this B bar C. We need either 3 input AND gate for A bar B C, and if I am not given 3 input AND gate, then I will require 2 input AND gate for this. And last you require 1 OR gate to OR these 3. So most of you have given right answer. What you can see in this, when the products are summed, it is called as sum of product or SOP. And in SOP, last you use a OR gate to bring things together. Correct, na? Everybody has told about that OR gate. Product of sum is how? When you do the sum first, A plus D, C plus D bar, B bar plus C. You do sum first, and after summing you do product. That it's called as product of sum. Understood, na? Sum of product is you do AND first and later you do OR. Product of sum means you do first OR and later you do AND. So this is SOP, this is PUS. Okay, so this is called as 2 standard forms, SOP and PUS. Now there is something called as canonical form. You have heard of canonical form? Yes, tell me, have you heard of canonical form? No. Okay. See, canonical form means, see, for example, when I give you, when I show you this expression, what do you understand? The input variables are how many? 3. A, B, C. There are 3 variables. And when you see this second equation, what do you see? How many variables are there? 4 variables are there, right? A, B, C, D. That means this equation is a 3 variable equation and this equation is 4 variable equation. So when we talk about canonical form, we say that each term should have all the variables. Each term should have all the variables. So now I will take this example, and in the next class I will ask you this only. This is my example, A plus B bar C plus A bar B C. Now in this sum of product, only one is in canonical form, and canonical form means that the term should have all the product or all the variable. So this equation comprises of 3 variables, A, B and C. All the 3 variables should be present in each term. Is it present in first term? No. So it is not in canonical form. Second term, no. Third term, yes. So this third term is in canonical form. This third term is in canonical form. Now what can be done? Whichever is in canonical form, we call that as min term. Okay? If it is in canonical form, we call it as min term. All are product term, that is no problem. But whichever is in canonical form, we call it as min term. Now, if I say that I want to make this B bar C as canonical form, what can be done? If I want to make B bar C as canonical form, what can be done? You can think of and tell me. I want to bring B bar C to canonical form.
Multiply with
You
A.
can write it as A plus A bar, so that will be
Yes,
equal to
ma'am.
1.
Correct. See, you all know that any term, if it is ANDed with 1, it does not change anything, right? Any product term, if it is ANDed with 1, nothing changes. And ANDed with 1 can also be replaced by, if this is B bar C, if I multiply this B bar C with A plus A bar, what will happen?
That expression is equal to 1.
Yes.
A plus A bar.
A plus A bar is 1. So I can multiply A plus A bar with this. And after I multiply, if I expand, what two terms will come? One will be A B bar C and another will be A bar B bar C, right? So then B bar C will be converted to canonical form. This is the method of converting this term to its canonical form. Same way I can do for A also. Same way I can do for A. So what shall I do? For A, first I will multiply it with B plus B bar. And next I should multiply it with C
C
plus.
plus C.
So then how many terms will result from this A?
4 terms.
4 terms only. How many extra terms will come?
Ma'am, could you repeat the question?
The question is, see B bar C, when I multiplied with A plus A bar, 2 terms came into picture, no? 2 terms
Yes, ma'am.
came into picture. One was A bar B bar C, one was A B bar C. So
Yes,
in
ma'am.
place of this one, I got 2 terms. Now, if I try to do the same with this A, what should I do? I should multiply with B plus B bar. Then how many terms I will get?
4.
It will be AB bar and AB.
Yeah, 2 terms.
2.
2 terms, ma'am.
2 terms, correct. Now this AB bar and AB will be multiplied further with C plus C bar in both the sides.
Yes, ma'am.
So then how
Another
many?
2.
Another 2 will come.
So
So in total,
4.
4 will come. So I want you people to do this work as your homework for today's class. I told everything, no? I told everything. So any one of you can do this and post to my personal WhatsApp. Once I approve it, we will post it in our Google Classroom. Okay? So because today is first class only, I will not go into much detail. I am just converting this one sum of product SOP in the canonical form. Canonical form means that all the variables should be available in the each term like this, right? So this is homework for today and it is 11:53. You should go to your next class. And whatever I talk today will come as at least 3 questions in your quiz, which we will be posting you along with the next class thing. Maybe Saturday you will be having that quiz from today's class and Saturday's class. Okay? Okay. The CR will be passing me the absentees list in WhatsApp, in my personal WhatsApp. Okay, this is only for today. Later, CR will not have this job.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so any doubts from today's class? Anybody want to ask anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you have two work from today's class. Number one work is for which you have more time. I need you people to go and explore the digital electronics application which you can understand. See, of course, the motherboard of laptop is also an application of digital electronics, but at your level, you can't understand that application. So you have to see simple application of digital electronics. Each one of you have to see simple application of digital electronics. With that, you will understand where digital electronics is there in the complete world. That is number one thing. Number two thing is the small homework what I have given you, where you got to know the term SOP, sum of product, min term and canonical form. These three terms you got to know today. So this small homework is there for you. So this is only the work from today's class. Okay. Any other doubt you can ask me next class. Okay. Thank you very much. You were good students today. I hope you are like this every day. Okay, thank you. I'm stopping the class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.